concerns on that?
Nope.
No.
Okay, very good. All righty. Next subject, the 2020-21 school year. Board action is necessary for the attached 2020-21 school year school calendar to be adopted. Questions on that? Okay. Charter school funding reform. This was a resolution that was to be on March's board. Board actions requested to approve the attached resolution relative to the charter school funding reform. IU budget for 2020-21. The IU budget was received with no change to the district funding commitment. It should be acted upon at this time. It has been approved by the IU board. It reflects a total operating cost of $3,611,283. Any questions? Good, so good. Mr. Sapienza, any updates?
I don't have any updates.
Thank you. Mr. Mazzocco, any updates?
In the area of special education, everything seems to be going pretty smooth. I did a tally today. We have around 94% of our special education population have logged on and completed work that is necessary so far. So that's pretty good. We're still going to be going door to door, delivering devices for the few that we have not been in touch with. We're sending out mailings, and we'll get it done one way or another. Other than that, no other new updates, Mrs. de Blasio.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Sanders.
Hi, I just wanted to make sure everybody got the email I sent out, I think it was a week ago, about our continuity of education plan that we had to put together for the Department of Education. We had to submit that by Friday and post it to our website. It's a dynamic document, so we can make changes as needed, and if our plan changes, we can tweak that and resubmit at any time. That was the one thing. Deb, what else did you want me to, you wanted to mention the grant?
You were going to talk about Noel's grant, yes.
Yeah, so our partner, Noelle Conover from Matt's Makerspace, reached out to me, and as you guys know, I'm working with her to be the regional hub for maker learning in Pennsylvania. So with part of that work comes we meet probably once a week. So she reached out to me with some of that business and also asked how our plan was and how our school was and all of that. And I told her, you know, the deficiency of our devices and where we're at, we're kind of maxed out and still, you know that kids are going to need devices and we may need replacement devices and so forth. So she thought about it, contacted me back and said something about an RK Mellon Foundation grant for COVID response. And it has to be submitted by a group in and around the Pittsburgh area, I think Allegheny County. But she's willing to submit a grant on our behalf as partners and sharing that funding if we would be selected to get it. So it has a lot of different like priority that they're going to take, and we fit one of them, which is academic concerns post COVID-19. And so we're going to wrap it into the project that we're already partnering with her on to support that and to also hopefully get some technology out of that. So it's a pretty big, it's kind of like the Grable Foundation, you know, the Mellon Foundation. So it's a bigger grant. I think the most you could get is $200,000. So we're going to work on that. I have to submit an RFI by Friday or Saturday. And then that's like step one. And if we get approved to submit a full application, we will do that. We're contacted. So I thought that was very nice of her to be willing to do that for us. And everything else I think is going great. And Deb, if there's anything else, just let me know and I can check.
No, I think as I'm going to say at the caucus meeting and the public meeting, I could not ask more from wonderful administration, wonderful board, wonderful staff, parents. A big shout out to the parents, to our students for under these uncertain situations, how everyone came to the floor and did what we had to do. And we actually started a new school within 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. And I could have not done it without my team, without Joe, Chuck, Emily, all of my administrators. Johnny Mazzocco had a huge task with the special need population. We met it head on, and I'm proud of what they've been doing. There are some things here that we probably we've talked about, but we didn't do it in an executive session. But I'm going to go ahead and read them because it's accepting retirements. Chuck, is that okay if I just go ahead and read them at this point?
He's probably muted.
I couldn't press the button. No, Debbie, you're good. It's all
Okay,
good.
very good. Matters of executive session, it was to be, but at this point, retirements, board actions necessary to accept the retirement of Mrs. Lori Dorn, kindergarten reading facilitator at H.W. Lockley Early Learning Center, effective June 8th, 2020, close of the day. Her retirement is contingent upon any eligible retirement incentives that may be offered prior to June 8th. Also, board action is necessary to accept the retirement of Mrs. Anna Morgan, cafeteria employee, effective June 5th, 2020. And board action is necessary to accept the retirement of Mrs. Maria Pruitt, PCA, effective June 5th, 2020. Any questions? Okay. Next, board actions requested to approve the following leave of absence. There are 2 leave of absence. Cafeteria employee Barb Norco is requesting an intermittent leave of absence under the Family Medical Leave Act, effective as February 25th, 2020. And Christina Colero, teacher at George Washington Intermediate School, is requesting an intermittent leave of absence under the Family Medical Leave Absence, effective as of, and I do believe this was in January, but this is all when we started to leave the buildings, and I didn't get the final date. Any questions? Stipulations and adjudication. Board action will be needed to approve the attached stipulation and adjudication relative to a recent expulsion hearing. Questions? Okay. Addition to the non-professional substitute list. Board actions requested to approve the following individuals for addition to the substitute list indicated, effective upon completion of all new hire paperwork, including pre-employment and drug screening. Cafeteria, Krista Rainey, and Secretary Kimberly Allen. And at that point, I am complete. I do have some matters of information that I would like to hold off until the public meeting. I think it's very important that the public hears what the district has been doing under the help of the board of directors, and as I said, as the whole community has been doing. So I would like to hold off and tell a little bit about them at that time. Any questions or concerns for me? Okay, very good. Mr. Ambrosini.
Thanks, Debbie. My first item are the financial reports, and they're only presented through the month of February. We had an issue that occurred on our file server, I think it was about a week and a half ago, and we're slowly rebuilding it, and we should be back in full operation by this Friday. So I will get the March financial statements out to the board as soon as they are ready. And that's in a couple different of these areas, a couple different places. The treasurer's report as presented for February and March of 2020, they'll need board approval. They're on exhibits B and B1. The student activity reports, they're listed on exhibit C and C1, and actually a C3, the March student activity report. So you can see the activity in the various clubs. And I think the only thing that occurred there was the King and Queen of Hearts. But the travel reports, the attached travel request and reconciliation of prior travel that are presented for board approval. They're on exhibit D and D1, and the March report will be available at the May meeting. Item 11 are the district payments. The following district payments are presented for board approval. They're all listed on exhibit E, and they total approximately $3,700,000 for the month of February, and Marches will be distributed once they become available. I'm hoping that's Friday. Repository, board action is requested to approve the attached recommendations for the acceptance or rejection of the bids for the repository properties. A couple contracts, and I think we talked about a few of these that are February session. Board action is necessary for the approval of a 5-year agreement with Cintas Corporation to provide cleaning supplies effective April 1, 2020 through March 31st, 2025. The current annual spend is approximately $20,399. The proposed spend is roughly going to be about $1,000 a year, and that's on exhibit. Item B is a CASEA contract. Board actions requested, and this is part of the grant Debbie was talking about. So this is going to be funded through the grant, but it's a contract that I have to have the board approve. Board actions requested to approve a 3-year contract with CASEA to provide remote access to all employees and students using district-owned devices. The IT department will be able to remotely troubleshoot and manage devices regardless of the location. Total cost per year is $8,310 or $24,000 over the 3-year period. And this contract will be paid out of the district's continuity of education grant, which Debbie spoke to, the $132,000. Item 14 is vision benefits. They're our vision company. We're going to extend our contract to June 30th, 2022, or we're recommending that to the board. There's no changes in pricing. It's $3.17 single, $7.54 a month for family. We've been with them for a long time, and there's no increase in those numbers from prior year. The next issue is the Penn Power one. Board action is requested to adopt the attached resolution between the district and Penn Power on the underbilled usage at Newcastle Junior High School by agreeing on a lump sum payment of $15,000, which will resolve this issue, and that's attached to your agenda. Item 16 is proposals. Our copier contract is going to expire on June 30th, 2020, and I'm asking the board if I could go out for proposals for copiers on a 5-year agreement. Is that okay to put that as part of the agenda? Okay. Item B is the permission to advertise, and this is an annual advertisement we do for custodial maintenance supplies, warehouse supplies, athletic, and equipment. And athletic will still be on there because we do it for the whole year, so it's for every sport. Early retirement incentive package, there's an attachment there. It's basically what we talked about, the normal ERI, and it was plus $10,000, which would be $3,300 over a 3-year period. And the only other one we talked about was the employee that was retiring at a younger age. But the other ones are pretty standard that you've seen over the last several years. Board minutes, they were attached. They were for February 18th meeting. We talked about the financial statement. I want to have, and we don't have to discuss this tonight, I want to have a budget meeting, and I'll get it started with you, Stacy, and then you could pass these dates around. But on May 7th and May 21st, and I should have all the answers that we need. Definitely by May 21st. I'm hoping by May 7th. I'll at least have a few of them.
That'll be good, Joe.
Okay. And then I talked to the board about the foreign property tax payments. We could do that in May. Our bills don't go out until July 1. I know they have to print them, but we should be okay. And that was all. That was all I have.
Any questions, any concerns that the board may have? Okay. I had put in the advertisement for the board meeting that we would be holding our meeting at the end of the caucus meeting, and that we would be doing the public meeting immediately following. Are we ready to get moving, to get going?
Yep, I think we
Okay.
should get going.
Okay,
Could we, is that, Chuck, can we start? The public meeting?
Debbie, that's the way you advertise it? Not a
We
specific-
I
advertised
did
it that,
advertise.
we did advertise it that it would be at 5:30. The caucus meeting will be, and immediately to follow will be the public meeting.
Then I'm fine. Yeah, Stacy, let's go. ahead.
Okay, all right. So we can start. So, would you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silent reflection? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, this meeting is now called to order. Joe, would you please call the roll?
Sure. Mr. Laus?
Here.
Mr. Moses? I know he's here. Mr. Pinella? I'll come back. Mr. Pinella? Ms. Pascarella?
Here.
Ms. Rankin? Mr. Amabel?
Here.
Mr. Fonatero? Mrs. Humphrey?
Here.
And Mrs. Flea.
Here.
Mr. Moses, are you still there?
Norman's here.
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. The board has a policy that permits residents and taxpayers who have signed up to speak before the board with a 5-minute time limit. Please try to adhere to this policy. Also, please refer all questions to the chair and not to individual board members. Do we have anybody signed up, Deb?
Yes, Austin Brown.
Okay.
I'm going to unmute Mr. Brown now so that he may speak.
Okay.
Mr. Brown, can you confirm that your microphone's working for us?
Yeah, can you?
Yes, sir, we can.
All right, thank you. Good evening. I'm here as president of the student council expressing a concern that I'm having, as well as one shared by my fellow classmates about the graduation. So I was looking into this a bit, and I noticed that the Secretary of Education put out a notice to everybody in the state saying that the districts do have the authority to have a graduation ceremony if they follow the latest social distancing guidelines and things of that sort. And considering the low death count and case count that we have in Lawrence County in comparison to the rest of the counties in the state, I'm wondering what sort of action is going to be taken as far as what sort of graduation ceremony that we're going to have, because I've heard talk of a virtual ceremony, and I've also heard talk of just having it in a different manner. My idea would have been to have it at Taggart Stadium, since there is an 8,000 person plus capacity there. That would allow for each graduate to have a few members of their family while still having the social distancing guidelines in place. Specifically, if we were to have 5 people per graduate and we have a graduating class of roughly 150, that would be about 750 people in the stadium that holds 8,000 plus. So each family could sit in a unit and still socially distance from the other families without contaminating anyone else. So I'm wondering if that would be a proposition that would be taken into consideration. I know that a lot of people that I'm in contact with personally do have plans to go away in July if the bans in their, the states that they're planning on traveling to are lifted. But I'm wondering what sort of decision the board will come to pending, that we stay at this sort of cap of cases and deaths and things like that. So that would conclude my remarks.
Okay. Mrs. Fleo, if you would allow me to answer, it's Mrs. de Blasio.
Yes, thank you.
Austin, in my letter that I sent home last week to the seniors and to the parents, I made a promise to the seniors that I will do everything possible to make a graduation occur. You are correct that the Secretary of Ed did say prior that we would be able to have our own graduation, would be a district decision. But since then, the governor has put more restrictions on us. Now, the scenario you gave me is one of many scenarios that we're thinking about. Believe me, if anything can be done, I cannot give you a definite now, probably will not get a definite till after the governor speaks in the midst of the week or in the beginning of May. But what I can tell you is whatever we are allowed to do, under any guideline that is put on us through the Department of Health or through the Department of Education, we will do whatever we can to make our seniors graduate as closely as they can to that date. I can't give you a date at this point because there's an uncertainty there. We don't know when the non-essential businesses aren't open, and they have not given us the parameters. Yeah, at first it was a decision, and now it's not a decision. It's not just a decision from the districts. So at this point, yes, did I think of Taggart Stadium? Absolutely. And that would be my dream. Did I think of other ways of doing virtual? Yes, we did, but I'm not as thrilled with that as I would be at the stadium with family members. I'm also talking about scholarships. People that have worked very hard don't need to be recognized. I want them to be recognized. There's no one that has more pride in the Newcastle School District than me. 36 years, a product of it. And whatever I could do for each and every one of my seniors, I will do it. But I cannot give you a definitive right now. But please know that your suggestions, Glenn noted, it's actually been one of our ideas with Mr. Latrena and I, and the board I'm sure will support us in anything that we need to do. But do not think that this is something that is being taken lightly. We're trying every measure, dear.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. There's
Is there
no,
any other people signed up to speak?
let me check and make sure. I just want to make sure, but as of 5 seconds ago, there was not, but I want to give everyone a chance. No, at this point, there's no more, no, there's no one else.
Okay, and can we make it noted that Steve Fornatero is now on? Joe?
Say it again, Stay.
Just Steve Fornatero's on.
I did.
Oh, okay.
I saw him. Yep, thanks, Stace.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of the February 18, 2020 board meeting?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Yeah, when we do a motion or a second, if we could just say our name at the end so that Joe will know who made the motion. Okay.
Thank you, Stace.
And, okay, so all in favor?
Aye. Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Mrs. de Blasio will now give the superintendent's report.
Yes. Retirement. Board actions necessary to accept the retirements of Mrs. Lori Horn, kindergarten reading facilitator at HW Lockley Early Learning Center, effective June 8th, 2020, at the close of the day. The retirement is a contingent upon any eligible retirement incentive that may be offered prior to June 8th. May I take them all together, Mrs. President?
Yes.
Okay. Board action is necessary to accept the retirement of Mrs. Anna Morgan, cafeteria employee, effective June 5th, 2020, at the close of the day. And also, board action is necessary to accept the retirement of Mrs. Maria Pruitt, PCA, effective June 5th, 2020, close of the day.
So moved. Mark Pinella. Second, Anna.
Okay. I need to,
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
All opposed? Okay.
okay. Joe, can you please text Dawn? I know you're listening, and tell her to go ahead and open up the public agenda.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to hold on 1 second if we can. I apologize for the delay, but we need to open our public agenda. It'll be a matter of 2 seconds. Okay, I think we can get started. Leave of absence. Board action is requested to approve the following leaves as presented. Barbara Nardo, cafeteria employee, is requesting an intermittent leave of absence under the Family Medical Leave Act effective as of February 25th, 2020. 2, Christina Corlero, teacher at George Washington Intermediate School, is requesting an intermittent leave of absence under the Family Medical Leave of Absence effective as of September 10th, 2019.
So moved, Anna.
Second, Pat.
Joe, you back on?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you. Committee of a whole recommendation, board action is necessary to approve the
Wait,
following.
Debbie,
Deb, we have to say aye.
Oh, I
Is there-
forgot. I sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
Is there any discussion? No discussion, all in favor?
aye. Aye.
All opposed? Okay, go ahead, Deb.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Committee of a whole recommendation, board actions necessary to approve the following changes to the 1920 school calendar. That's this calendar for this year that we're in right now for the public that's listening. So May 15th and June 8th were previously approved as teacher and service days. They will now be changed to instructional days.
So moved, Anna. Second, Mark.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Okay. 2020-21 school calendar, board action is necessary to adopt the attached 2020-2021 school calendar.
So moved, Anna.
Second, Karen. Second, Karen. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay,
Okay, great. Charter school funding reform resolution. Board action is requested to approve the attached resolution relative to charter school funding reform.
So moved, Mark. Second, Anna.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay,
IU4 budget for the 2020-21 school year. The IU budget, it was received with no changes in the district's funding commitment. It should be acted upon at this time. It has been approved by the IU board, and it reflects a total operating budget of $3,611,283.
So moved, Karen.
Second, Anna.
any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay,
Very good. Stipulated adjudication and disposition. Board actions needed to approve the previously presented stipulated adjudication and disposition relative to a recent expulsion hearing.
So moved, Mark. Second, Anna.
any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed?
Okay. Personnel Committee recommendations, addition to the non-professional substitute list. Board action is requested to approve the following individuals for addition to the substitute list indicated effective upon completion of all new hire paperwork, including pre-employment and drug screening. Cafeteria, Krista Rainey, and Secretary Kimberly Ellen.
So moved, Karen.
Second, Anna.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Okay,
Okay. Matters of information, I would like to just take a few minutes and update the public and the board. I've been including you on our briefings every week, a couple times a week, but I would like to let the community that's on and the community as a whole, let you know what Newcastle School District is doing and what they've been doing up until now. So as far as the education plan, I will tell you the continuity of education plan, which Emily and most of my administrators and myself worked on. Emily did a great job spearheading this. So on our website, the continuity of education plan is on there. The board members received it. It was also put on there for the public to see, and I received an email that the state received it and approved it. It's on the website now if anyone would like to use it. And we focused on, you could focus on several different areas. We focused on planned instruction in all grades. As far as the curriculum goes, Google Classroom was our pick. Many of the districts went with canned programs. We went with Google Classrooms. Many of the companies and the curriculum people that we work with have put out free. It's unbelievable. It's like we started a school in 1 month, a brand new school. They put out all free materials. Our administrative team got together. We made sure that this got out to our staff. Our staff took the information and they ran with it. Success for All, which is our reading program, opened up their whole entire curriculum for us to put online, and our students are using that at the elementary level. With a Get More Math, we're using that from grades 3, I believe, to grades 8. My math program, which is a K to 6 program, is being used daily. It's also online. We have a new program that several of our teachers are doing for enrichment called Math Seeds. It allows the students to move and work to their ability. So some of our students that may be having a little hard time getting a concept, they're able to work at their own pace and do that. We also have several other enrichment given to the teachers and the parents. And again, I cannot tell you what this district has done to put these programs together. And when I say this district, I want to make sure that from the board of directors to the administration, to the teachers, to our students, and above all to our parents and our technology department and everyone, what we have done in these last 3 weeks is something that I think every board member could be very, very proud of what we accomplished. So I think it's a great thing for to let you know there are apps on the web. There's also apps on the teacher. Each individual classroom has different apps that can be enriched. Also, how we're using various methods of communication to educate students. Mr. Pinella sent us an email, a text a few weeks ago, and said how impressed he was with his one of the teachers talking to his granddaughter on the phone. We're doing Google Meets. It makes me feel good that our teachers are making. At the beginning of the year, I gave everyone a task. I didn't know what that task was going to meet. I asked them to concentrate on the 4 C's: compassion, connection, communication, and collaboration. And we did all of those. We asked them to be comfortable not being comfortable, and boy, did we take them to task on that. And they accepted the task and did a great job. Phone calls were made by teachers, by principals. Google Classroom has notification features that we're making parents aware of. Teachers collaborating together, working and encouraging students and assisting parents. Our website, every letter that I've put out since March 13th is on there. There's a track of everything that we have done. So if anyone has any questions, it's posted for the community, for the parents, for the students, for the board. Food, I'm so proud of what this community has done for food. We as a district serve breakfast and lunch. We have 13 sites. They receive lunch on breakfast and lunch Monday and Tuesday, and then again on Wednesday for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Mr. Bergman, who has done a phenomenal job with food, is also working with the state now to try to get breakfast and lunch on the weekends. So that's something we're looking forward to, and stay tuned for that. I think he's very close to that. Also, what this community has done for the Newcastle School District and our babies, our students. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, they're being served a hot dinner. It started with one particular group, and it just snowballed out. People are calling us now, asking what they could be doing. The other day, and I think that this is noted to be public, I got a phone call from one of our teachers who we lost her dear friend and was a dear friend to all of us, Kimberly Scrim Hooks. they donated $10,000 to the school district, $6,000 for 30 Chromebooks, and $4,000 towards our food for dinner. Those are the type of people that are reaching out to us. People are reaching out to us every day. I get phone calls from board members. I get phone calls from the community, from restaurants. This is the time to say thank you, and we appreciate everything you're doing for our teachers. Technology, I would be remiss if I didn't say thank you to James, Mike, Eric, Tracy, and Emily for the job they did. We gave out 1,300 devices to my administrative staff who was there passing them out. To Tracy, who did Google Classroom, Mrs. Europoli, she did Google Classroom for various teaching groups. Emily, who helped support her, my administrators that helped support her, they actually learned to do Google Classroom in 1 week. It's unbelievable. Our help desk is set up, ready to go for anyone that needs us. And our parents, again, who stood up, came, 1,300 computers, and we got them out there, and we got most of our children on and learning. So I'm happy to say that. Seniors, we talked about that a bit. I posted a letter. I'm collaborating with Mr. Latrena and the rest of the administration. I'm collaborating with the county superintendents. One of the things that happened this week was the AFT, which is our American Teacher Federation for the Newcastle chapter, are buying each one of our seniors a yard sign. And those yard signs will be displayed either in the teacher's room, and I'm not sure if Mr. Latrena, if you're on here, it'll be, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong. It will be either at the building, at the house, or maybe both. Rich, do you know?
That still hasn't been clarified, Mrs. de Blasio. It's either one sign or two.
Okay, very good. So our seniors are at the base of our heart. I've been meeting with my administration team once a week. As I said, phenomenal. Newcastle Police Department called me. Chief Salem called me and said to me, Mrs. de Blasio, we have some extra money. What could we do to support the Newcastle School District? He said, we want to help feed meals. He said, but what else can we do? Well, I had read this little article about these teddy bears. And when I gave Chief Salem the idea, and with one of our secretaries, Jenny Miller, we got the Newcastle Strong and the teddy bears. They were given out today. We send a little letter out with them saying that children could go on a scavenger hunt and they could look in the windows, and we could be NC proud during these uncertain times. We've also been meeting as a county, the superintendents 3 times a week, and we've been having our IU meetings 1 time a week. Donations and grants that we've been getting. The equity grant will be out in public on Wednesday. Emily's talked about the grant with Noel Conover. Community letter, what I'd like to do is we'll have a letter that's going to be going out to people that are either donated or would like to donate, thanking them and asking them what they would like to do with their donations. Special education, I'm proud to say that John Mazzoca has done a great job, and the students' needs are being met, and those children that we don't have on the computer now, if anyone is listening and you know of any, please make us aware of it, because we've been calling and calling, and I'm very pleased to say that I think we had a good turnout. And that is about it, and I thank the board for all their support, and I just wanted to make you aware, as long as with the public, what we did in Newcastle School District, and you could be very proud. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. de Blasio. Mr. Ambrosini will now give the business manager's report.
Thank you, Madam President. The first item A is the financial reports. The financial reports through February 29th, 2020 are presented for board approval. They're listed on Exhibit A. The treasurer's reports through February 29th and March 31st, 2020 are also presented for board approval. And the student activity reports for February and March, they're on Exhibit C and C1. They also need board approval.
So moved. Second, Anna.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Okay.
The attached travel request and reconciliation of prior travel expenses are also presented to the board for their approval, and they're listed on Exhibit D and D1.
So moved, Karen.
Second, Anna.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay.
Item 11 are the district payments. The following district payments are presented for board approval, and they're listed on Exhibit E. And for the month of February, they totaled approximately $3.7 million.
So moved, Anna.
Second, Steve.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
The next item, item 12, board action is requested to approve the attached recommendations for the acceptance or rejection of the bids received for the purchase of properties through the Lawrence County Tax Claim Bureau from its repository. Those are listed on Exhibit F.
So moved, Anna.
Second, Karen.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Madam President, if I could take the two contracts as one.
Yep.
The first one being Cintas Corporation. Board action is necessary for the approval of a 5-year agreement with Cintas Corporation to provide cleaning supplies effective April 1, 2020 to March 31st, 2025, and that's on Exhibit G. The next one is Kaseya. Board action is requested to approve a 3-year contract with Kaseya to provide remote access to all employees and students using district-owned devices. IT department will be able to remotely troubleshoot and manage devices regardless of location. And this is going to be paid out of, it's a $25,000 purchase, but it will be paid out of our district continuity of education grant.
So moved, Anna.
Second, Pat.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay.
Next item is insurances. Board action is requested to approve a contract renewal with Vision Benefits of America for an additional 24 months. Contract will expire June 30th, 2022. The monthly renewal rates will be remaining the same at $3.17 for a single member and $7.54 as a family, and that is attached as well.
So moved, Anna.
Second, Steve.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay.
Next item is a resolution to resolve a billing issue. Board action is requested to adopt the attached resolution between the district and Penn Power on the underbilled usage issue at the Newcastle Junior Senior High School by agreeing on a lump sum payment of $15,000, which will resolve this issue. That agreement is attached.
So moved, Mark.
Second, Karen.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay.
Madam President, there's 2 bids, if I could take them as one. The first one being board approval is requested for the business manager to seek proposals for the district's copiers. This will be effective July 1, 2020, and this would be a 5-year agreement. The other item is board permission is requested to seek bids for the following: custodial maintenance supplies, warehouse supplies, athletic supplies, and equipment, and any other areas as deemed necessary.
So moved, Anna.
Second, Pat.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay.
And the last item is our early retirement incentive package. Board action is necessary to approve the attached early retirement incentive package for the 1920 school year.
So moved, Anna.
Second, Steve.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
That's all I have, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Ambrosini. Is there any other new business to be brought before this board? I think it went well, our first official Zoom school board meeting. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks.
May I have a
Thanks.
motion to,
Oh,
Did somebody
So
say?
moved.
Okay, a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved. Norman, yes.
Okay, meeting's adjourned.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And see you later.
Thank you, Michael Deli. Appreciate it.
Bye, Tom.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Mike.
Thanks,
Good job.
Thanks, Mike.
Bye.
No
Good job,
problem.
Mike.
Meeting.
Good job.